Greetings, mind crafters, and welcome to another Mindcraft discussion on this glorious day. A little bit steamy here in northern Vermont again, and so that's why we're in here, because my cheap Irish skin. I shouldn't be out there for too long, but I will be headed out back to the wood, just film in the woods soon. We had quite a stint of rain, which we really needed. Not too conducive to filming, but we definitely needed it. And we'll be rounding that bend soon, and we'll be back in the woods filming. So today I wanted to talk about, and definitely inspired by Wayne Dyer, because well, he and I love that guy. He's since passed, but man, I love him, because he was big on the whole, just like we are, like the main theme with Minecraft and becoming the boss of your brain, right? He talked a lot about when we change the way we think about things, the things we think about change, and even to be more direct. A lot of people just don't get it. I mean, like they get it if you said it to them, like, do you get it? Then they get it, but they're not attenuating to this concept, I guess is the idea. So, is what I'm saying. So the idea that we actually become, our lives unfold based upon what we think about all day long. And this is, simple yet profound, I guess. But there's still lots of people who are just kind of like, zombie mode, and just kind of like leaving the gate open and letting everything in, and if we want to live our best lives, be in our, find meaning and purpose and live our highest vibe, selves and authentic path, and that one thing we were meant to do on this earth and all that leaving the gate wide open and not cherry picking what we're allowing to stay just isn't going to fly too well. So what did I say? So we want to be ultra engaged with our conversations, because just think, we go through the workday, we're out with friends, and and maybe you have a couple of negative Nellies in there. Maybe they're not even full-blown negative Nellies. Maybe they just went down a road of, oh, it's so hot out, and that led me to, I don't have air conditioning, and whatever. It can be light. It doesn't have to always be huge, right? But when we get sucked into passively, right? We make decisions actively, we make decisions passively. So we passively get sucked into a conversation, even if it's subtle, where people are talking about what's missing in their lives, even if it's just air conditioning or it's whatever, then that tends to pick up momentum, right? Because every single thought we think expands, every single one of them, which is why it is so important to cherry pick which ones stay and which ones we just let move on their way. We can acknowledge them, wave, bye-bye, and then keep the ones that we want to stay. So if we get sucked in with this crew that's talking about what is missing in their lives, we are then attracting, like with a neon sign in Las Vegas, to bring more of what's missing and more lack into our lives. That's just how it works, even if we're doing it passively, because the universe responds to what we allow ourselves to think about all day long. So some of those topics might be, somebody gets going about, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough friends, I don't have enough travel in my life, I don't have enough love, no partner, this, that, nah. Whatever that individual thing is, you're putting it out there to amplify it. So you think you don't have enough money, now you're really not going to have enough money, because that's just how it works. So personally, I work very hard about not talking about what's missing. And then sometimes people say, oh, toxic positivity. No, that's a total oxymoron, because to feel is to heal. We've got to process. If stuff happens, we got to process it. The whole idea is not to reside there. Feel, process. Again, to feel is to heal, and then we have to consciously shift out of it, because here's the thing. The brain loves patterns. The brain is also very lazy. Even if you're not lazy as a person, the brain is super lazy, and that's how come we make assumptions that get us in trouble. The brain's constantly looking for shortcuts. So, that is what will happen. Is the brain will just get in lazy mode and take shortcuts, and will just be passively attracting more and more and more. So, even if a thought zips across, we can't always control that. We can control talking about it. Like, there would have thought, everybody's talking about how they don't have money, and then the inflation, and how am I going to do it, and you might be thinking the same thing, like, oh man, I'm starting to get sucked in. You don't have to consciously Speak about it though. You can even listen, or maybe better yet, make an excuse to get out of the conversation. But rather than just chime in and that short-term feel-good fix of everybody's in agreement, that us them thing, we're all talking about inflation. How's anybody doing? And doesn't that feel good because I'm part of the conversation and we all agree and I'm feeling warm and fuzzy? No, you can still feel warm and fuzzy, but you don't need to talk about it. Nod and smile, or better yet, again, get out of it. So also, let's say it's a different example, okay? The inflation thing, money, that's pretty common. Let's say people are whining, or maybe not whining, but they're authentically processing, but like residing there for too long about not feeling confident enough, not feeling confident enough, rather than, oh no, I just got turned down from this again, I got turned down from that again, and maybe they're not saying they're not confident, but all these things that have happened in their lives are saying that's what's happening. Like, read the room, right? It's this, that, maybe self-esteem, self-confidence, rather than saying, I'm not, man, I'm just not confident, or I've got to have more confidence. I can work more confidence, more self-esteem, more this, more that. Rather than say, I don't have enough confidence, or I'm not confident, it's much better to say, confidence is on its way. And I share this with my Minecrafters, actually, in class. And it might be something like becoming better at math. Like a good math grade is on its way. Maybe I learned in second grade, I became conditioned that I suck at math and I'm always going to suck at math, even though I'm only 8, right? And then you took that to college with you. I use the math example here because I've heard that so many times from my Minecrafters, and thankfully, I know we probably have more than one, but a friend of mine at Champlain is the most incredible math guy I've ever met. He puts positivity into all of it, and the students they learn to love math because of him. And those students who have really bad experiences early on in elementary, middle, and or high school really had the opportunity to turn it around with him. So that's kind of like, right there is the proof in the pudding. It doesn't have to stick. So, becoming a math wizard is on its way, or just a good grade, or no, let's not even shoot for A's. If you're used to failing, a passing grade is on its way. And this will really turn that around. So we have to practice, because we are creatures of habit. Human beings are creatures of habit. Patterns, whether positive or negative, anywhere in between, the more we allow it are going to stick, right? And so the more we think a thought, that's basically what a belief is. The more we think a thought, think, when that thought grows up, it becomes a belief. So that can be great if it's that I'm becoming more confident, it's on its way, and then you believe it, okay, and then you eventually know it. That's the highest level. Thoughts, beliefs, and then there's the knowing. I'm confident that I can do this. I know that I have charisma, okay? Knowing is like the highest part. But so we keep that perpetual pattern going. We have to, and then here's the other thing. Okay, so there's the on its way thing, and we can really elevate our thinking. We can elevate our thinking in really any situation by pulling gratitude in it. I'm not saying in a toxic positivity phrase just kind of annoys me, because really, if you're being authentic, toxic doesn't fit there, no matter what. We're talking about shifting our attention, where we place our focus. So if you have to feel and heal and do that, okay, then we're shifting out of it. And elevate with gratitude, when it's time. If there's something that's aching in you, then you might need to breathe a little bit, and then to elevate with gratitude is the way to go, even if it's this much. Like the money example. Oh, I can't believe I only have $8 in my account. Oprah even does a thing with this. My dear friend Oprah, she just doesn't know we're such besties. She uses this exact example. It was a dollar amount close to that too. Rather than I only have $8 in my bank account, wow, at least I have $8 I have $8 in my checking account. It's better than having negative $8. Never mind all the fees and everything else. And that can be a tough sell when we're in it. And I've personally been there. I mean, most of us have. And then also just remember that thoughts, if you really want to manifest your desires, all kinds of talk about manifesting now, we first have to listen to our inner voice and know what those desires are. I mean, authentic desires. We're not talking about, oh, I just like, you can try it with this too, but if you want to just manifest, I don't know, owning a jet plane or something, I mean, good for you. If it's more of a heart fulfillment kind of thing, and really put that out there, and have your heart's desires in alignment, and that jet plane thing could be authentic too. That isn't my place to judge that. I'm just saying, I was thinking more meaning and purpose and calling. That's just where my head was versus material stuff. But again, it's not my place to judge. But so meaning, purpose, and authentic fulfillment must be, your thoughts must be in alignment with that. And remember to detach from outcome, because we're putting it out there that, wow, I'm gonna feel so good when happens that I can't wait for. That promotion, that new job, that travel, that partner. And then to feel as if all that's already happened, but without super specifics. Dark hair, blue eye, whatever. No, just authentically loving partner, authentic travel adventure, whatever my dream job looks like, and feel it as if it's already happened. And Will Smith actually talks about this too, that once we kind of lock into what our heart's desire is, he's like, the universe is just so in collaboration with you, kind of just gets out of your way. Just kind of like, oh, here you go, you got it, run, kind of thing. Okay, so then, and then Wayne Dyer went on a thing that I was listening to, that people who age healthfully, they got this down. They have got this down pat, because, and actually, my mother and father-in-law, I tell them frequently that I want to bring them into Minecraft for show and tell. They're 81, and my mother-in-law's 81, and my father-in-law will be 80 in about a month from now, in August. And they are the pictures, and also my friend Dr. Dave, just pictures of healthy aging, because those who are age healthily just don't buy into that aging necessarily means that it's just a slide, a sled ride down. Cognitive decline. Obviously, genetics and early onset stuff is what it is, though. For the most part, we know this from research that so much of it is here. And Wayne Dyer also asked, I think he was at a conference with a bunch of physicians or something, and he asked the physicians who they'd rather work on. They're doing heart surgery, this surgery, that, and the person who comes in I think he used an eye surgery example actually. That person just knows that they're going to see after this cornea operation or whatever, versus the person who's like, I might not make it, I might not, and whether it's something even bigger. The people who have this great visual and attitude and this are really kind of manifesting what this is going to look like. According to this, the docs, they like working on those people way better, because there's a better chance of a good situation happening from the procedure. So the people who age healthily, they're not wrapped up in being 75 or 85 or 95 or 105 or whatever. They're wrapped up in their lives. And there was a very interesting study, I think it was Harvard, but I'm like 90% sure, where they took 70-something-year-olds, and they did this whole thing where they brought them back headset-wise with different stories and different things that they were kind of immersing them in, feeling like how they felt in their 50s. And lo and behold, they started to behave that way and talk that way and everything. I don't remember the study. I'm sorry I didn't plan that part. So at the risk of plagiarizing anything, I just don't remember. But it was a really good one. And it had these, these older people feeling, acting, thinking, feeling, behaving. Let's do it in order. Thinking, feeling, behaving as if they were, 50s again. And so like when people say age is in your head, they're really right. That's no joke. So the people that are aging, they're not thinking about, okay, cognitive decline is not an option. They're not thinking about what's missing, what's not working, what's sagging, what might be even falling out or off, and they're just not, and they're just cranking right along. And my in-laws dressed to the nines. My friend Dr. Dave, he's on the exercise bike for an hour a day. He's going to be 80 in November. I mean, this is who has a really good healthy aging situation. Also, circling around, I guess, as we say, this also means we need to be hyper vigilant back to the, our thoughts lead to feelings, lead to behavior, right? Thoughts dictate how we feel. This means we need to be hyper vigilant as far as what we take in, because what comes in does not go out, at least not very easily, right? It takes a lot of uphill push. So that means we need to be very careful about the movies we watch, definitely about the video games our kids are engaged in, with all the violence and everything else, because it's going to stay. And I actually remember, The Exorcist came out when I was a kid, and I remember I really didn't want to watch that. Like, you can get away with stuff at a certain point, not when you're under your parents' thumbs when you're 6, 7, 8, but eventually you can go stay at a friend's house, have a sleepover, whatever. Something instinctively in me did not want to be this rogue, however old I was, and watch that. And to this day, I haven't watched it, because I was like, why do I want to let that in my head? Though I will tell you, I was ruined by Jaws. Oh my gosh! And I know it's a mechanical shark. You can rationalize and tell me all that. And I used to go in the ocean with my dad. We went on the family trip to the Jersey Shore. And there's something about, like, when you're 8 or 10-year-old. Well, I was an 8 or 10-year-old little girl, and you think if you are next to your dad, we go 3 waves out. Like, I couldn't touch. I'd hang on. I could swim too, but hang on to his shoulder. And you don't think anything's gonna happen to you because you're with your dad. I mean, think about that, because you're a little kid, right? After I saw Jaws, I'm like, no way did I go out to the 3rd wave. Like, the first one's like real close to the beach and people are swimming by the second one. The third one's like out there. No, not this kid. Done. Jaws, to this day, I don't want to go way out there. And I can swim, not about that. Sharks can swim too. Okay, so this is a super simple concept. Like, again, yet this is such a simple concept. So I do with my Minecrafters, I do simple and easy. Is it simple? Yes. Easy? No one said that. It takes practice. It takes practice, diligent effort, like being a good parent, right? It takes consistency and follow through to learn to become the boss of your brain. To learn to become the boss of your brain. And like anything else, it also gets easier the more we're at it. So if you're working at this, you start to slide backwards, you just say, okay, that's all right. Just pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. If you got sucked into a conversation or whatever, just say, okay, welcome to the human race. At least I know now, right? And I'm becoming more aware, and get back on the horse, as they say. So, need to be moved. Okay, so we don't want to be on autopilot like zombies. So we need to be the diligent gatekeepers. So I had this idea, came to me about a castle. Like, when I was in Ireland and also Scotland with my outlaws for family reunion, but also my college roomie. And we saw the castles, and man, there is nothing, castles are not for the faint at heart, I'll tell you that. They were very protective of what got in and what got out, and people just died in those trapdoors. It's, when Fisher Price makes the castles with all the little people, I mean, it doesn't do justice to what's really going on. I mean, it's cute for the kids and everything, but the whole princess idea, and I mean, it was brutal back then. So not, knowing that every single thought we think about expands, knowing that it sticks, knowing that it has everything to do with how our day unfolds, which therefore has everything to do with how our future life minutes unfold, and then it goes on and on and on. We don't want to just leave that castle door for any intruder, open. Leave the castle door, the gate open for any intruders to come on in. Now, obviously, we can't control just zips across, but we can control letting it stick. We can shift our attention to something else. And personally, for me, gratitude works like a charm. And be the diligent gatekeepers of this lovely 3-pound organ, so that we can sort of realize that it's not this, tyrannical foe that is sort of to blame for when we're slow to know somebody's name, or we can't remember this when it's Trivial Pursuit, or when we forget the keys, or when we got a little thought ambush with some what if thinking, or some self-deprecating, or with some catastrophizing. It's not the enemy. When we can become better gatekeepers and help out our own brain by becoming the boss of it, like a good parent, right? We can understand that this wonderful 3-pound organ is not an enemy or like a foe trying to bring us down. It's actually our very, very best friend, wanting so much to heal and to unfold our heart's desires as we would like. We just need to kind of be the guide, the captain of the ship, and that's it. Okay, be the boss of your brain. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my living room in northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.